Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has announced his members of the Executive Council following numerous delays. It consists of the ANC, the IFP, Rise, Mzansi and the Patriotic Alliance, while the DA, as we've been reporting, have been excluded from that executive. For more on this, we are now joined by Makashule Gana, who is Rise Mzansi's chief organizer. Makashule, good afternoon. Thank you so much, or good morning rather. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Good morning, Aldrin, and good morning to the newsroom viewers. It's an honor, it's a privilege for us to be in your program this morning.
And of course, Rise Mzansi is now part of an executive in Gauteng. Vuyiswa Ramokgopa has been appointed alongside other political party members to form part of this government of provincial unity. What does it mean for Rise Mzansi that has just contested these elections to now be part of the executive in the most populous province in the country, and also the one that contributes the most GDP to the country?
Thanks, Aldrin. For ourselves as Rise Mzansi, first is to congratulate our chairperson and now MEC, Vuyiswa Ramokgopa, on her appointment, and also to thank the Premier of Gauteng, Panyaza Lesufi, for considering us for this opportunity. It's a massive opportunity. It's a responsibility to serve the people of Gauteng as a MEC of Agriculture and Rural Development. So it's a opportunity that we accept. It's a responsibility that we accept, and it's something that, as you will know, one of the issues that we've been campaigning on was around ending hunger, ensuring that the people of South Africa don't have to go to bed hungry. And now we've got an opportunity to showcase the kind of politics, the kind of leadership that we've been talking about during the campaign.
Yeah, and I see the decision there that has been taken by the Premier is to delink agriculture and rural development from environment, which has now gone to the Patriotic Alliance. What does Rise Mzansi make of this particular decision? And was there any consultation between the ANC as well as Rise Mzansi around which portfolio Rise Mzansi will be allocated?
So ourselves, even when we were having negotiations and conversations, what we had always made clear is that we respect the powers, the prerogative of both the Premier and the President at the national level to appoint the cabinet. We never went into the discussion with a demand to say we want a particular portfolio or we want to be in the executive. We said, if you believe that we have something to offer the people of Gauteng, we have a capable leader in Vuyiswa Ramokgopa. So if you believe that we can contribute to ensuring that the lives of the people of Gauteng are improved, and then we'll accept the responsibility in whatever capacity, in whatever portfolio that you believe as a Premier of Gauteng, we can better serve the residents of Gauteng. And that particular aspect was accepted as such. So it was not a question of do we need to keep environment in agriculture or we take it out. We said, as a Premier, you set up your executive, you set up how government want to work, and where you see us playing a role, we'll accept the responsibility.
Okay, so when were you informed that the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development will go to Vuyiswa?
We were informed yesterday. As you'll know, Aldrin, the conversations around how the government of Gauteng needs to be composed was kept. I mean, like, there were conversations up until yesterday. So the final decisions were made yesterday, and that's why we were informed yesterday. But we kept on having conversation, and myself, as the person who was leading the negotiations on behalf of Rise Mzansi, kept the conversations going and the negotiations up until such time that the final notice was given to us that we have been invited to be part of the cabinet in Gauteng.
Okay. So yesterday the announcement was made, and of course it excluded the Democratic Alliance. What's Rise Mzansi's reaction to that particular development? and also the decision that has now been taken by the Democratic Alliance that they will withdraw, or that Refilwe Ntseke, who is the Deputy Speaker, will now be resigning from that position?
So our focus as Rise Mzansi, it's now served in the portfolio that we've been allocated to the portfolio of agriculture and rural development, and serve to the best of our ability, serve the people of Gauteng, ensuring that the Department of Agriculture can ensure that there's food for the people of Gauteng. It links up to other provinces on issues of agriculture, issues of agro-processing, so that not only the people of Gauteng, but also the surrounding provinces can have food to eat. That's what our focus is. What the other parties decide to do or not to do is not something that it's of primary concern to ourselves at this moment. Our primary concern is to ensure that we hit the ground running, we start saving the people of Gauteng.
But surely that has an impact on whether you are able or capable of hitting the ground running. The Deputy Speaker is about to resign. The ANC is saying that the door is still open to negotiations, to the Democratic Alliance as well. And I wonder what that means for a possible cabinet reshuffle if the two parties were to meet and decide on a way forward that would include them getting executive positions.
So we now have a responsibility to be in government. Our primary focus is to serve in government. If at some point there are changes, the Premier wants to change his executive for whatever reason, by that time the people of Gauteng will have seen what a Rise Mzansi in government is able to deliver. So we cannot, at this moment, barely 18 hours after the announcement, already thinking, what are we going to do when we are being, say, shifted from the portfolio? That's not our concern right now. Our concern is to serve the people of Gauteng and to serve them to the best of our ability and serve them with honesty and integrity. So we are not thinking what happens in the discussion between the ANC and the DA. We are Rise Mzansi. We have been invited to be part of government, and we are going to serve the people of Gauteng.
Okay, let's quickly move to the National Assembly. The decision that was taken by the Chief Whip of the ANC to postpone the nomination of JSC members as well as members who will be representing Parliament at the SADC Parliamentary Forum. That particular decision, as part of being a member of the Government of National Unity, are there conversations that are taking place amongst the members to decide on how to vote if John Hlophe, the former judge president of the Western Cape High Court Division, is nominated by the MK party to serve on the JSC?
So I serve also in the Chief Whip's Forum. I serve in the Rules Committee. They are continuing to have conversations, and at this moment there hasn't been a multi-party decision to say we're going to vote one way or the other. The conversations are continuing with the other political parties to ensure that when we do sit and the item is tabled, the item is passed without any issues. So those conversations are ongoing, Aldred.
Will you be voting for his nomination, that he gets a seat in the JSC?
As I've said, these conversations are continuing, and ourselves as Rise Mzansi, you will know that we had expressed a view at the time that the Parliament had taken a decision to impeach the then Judge John Hlophe, now the current member of Parliament. It is in our interest as Rise Mzansi to ensure that the people that we send to the JSCs are the best available in Parliament, because at the end of the day, you need to ensure that the JSC is able to appoint the judges in a way that is consistent with our constitution.
Thank you so much for your time. That is Makashule Gana, who is from Rise Mzansi, one of the leaders there at Rise Mzansi, speaking to us about their reaction to the appointment of Vuyiswa Ramokgopa, who is now the MMC for Rural Development and Agriculture in Gauteng. Really appreciate your time.